It has been some days since I've started filming this whole process. The last days were quite hard. I just could not find a way to implement the functionality I am searching for. I can give you a small hint, but further information I'll be providing later on in this series, because I just gotta wrap my head around it first, and I think it's gonna be surprising what's coming out of this, because it might not be too complex of a thing once I've got to understand how this whole thing is working. So, from the last episode to this one, I've done some changes. I'm no longer going to use Adalo, because even though it's built so simple and the user experience and UIs is great to wrap your head around, but the overall functionality I don't think it fits for this moment. I'm not saying there's something missing, and I'm certainly not the person who can judge on this, but after some research and other tools I am very excited to use, I don't think the integration or like translation between these whole tools is too good on Adalo. So I've moved on to Flutterflow. The learning curve is steeper, but with all this complexity, there comes clarity when you know where to go with some of these functions. Because it's like in Adalo, I could not see too much basic, simple applications. Yeah, I know you can get complex with anything you want to build on even the easiest no code app builder, but it just didn't seem too right. That's why I shifted the whole project to Flutterflow. I haven't done anything what the regarding the whole UX. I just gotta wrap my head around the logic and have this one step of authentication I first have to implement. And back to my hint, I've been telling you just before, it's going to be an application that's working with the Instagram API. And that was the next problem. I've been trying to solve or find a way to use the API to retrieve user information, but it's not that easy no more to retrieve any information from users or other users and posts in their bigger API, the Graph API. So, because you gotta verify on Meta with an actual business that you can get into use of this, if I'm not wrong, but I think I'm very right with this. So I am going to limit the whole functionality or find ways around it and use the basic display API. They're open or free or easy to use, I would say, API. Another one or another thing I'm going to add is I'm watching videos from Ambitious Alim. And he's like the greatest guy I could find, because he's utilizing another great tool which isn't out for too long, but is doing God's work. Because he's a dev for years, and he's been doing quite some stuff already before all this no code. came around. And basically what this tool he's utilizing in combination with Flutterflow is doing is that you can basically build your own APIs in there. I was super overwhelmed by all these things at first, but I'm slowly and steadily wrapping my head around this, and I think I'll be finding a way. I need to find a way. So I'm going through a video of him where he's like building a small app that's utilizing BuildShip, where you can like build your own API and retrieve some functions over in Flutterflow. And why is it not focusing? And that is like a pretty amazing thing, I think. So yeah, I'll be walking in his guiding footsteps, and I'm trying to get further ahead with this idea. I have to. So yeah, I'll be keeping you updated, and I'm going to add up on this. But these are the two tools I'm using, or I will be using, for most of the things I am going to build with this app, because it's like basically this BuildShip is like, has the functionality to even make databases inside. I can build the API requests. I can decouple the front end with the back end, do not have to expose any information to the front end, and can build quite complex stuff in this. And that's what we want, because these problems we want to solve aren't that easy to solve. Maybe they are for some, if you know the people with the experience. But if you're not that kind of person, you gotta go the hard route. Because I ain't spending thousands of bucks on and dev making me an app I don't know even succeeds. So let's get back to it and try to make this happen. If you're on this path as well, I wish you best luck. We gonna do this, okay? We gonna build problem-solving applications. So, see you then. I was having my first success just before. I made it work out. A little functionality. Working behind the scenes with some APIs I made up myself. And I'm pretty surprised I got it to work. Even though I was following along a tutorial, but I'm basically understanding most of the process is quite good now. Getting your hands on, doing some sort of exercise is literally the best thing you can do. As always, it was even the thing I had in mind when I tried to start to code, that I would need to like write simple programs to get some experience in all this, and to think in that way of like being able to make something work out. Because when you're always like only touching things with in a theoretical manner, you won't ever come to the point where you're truly hooked by it. After some small successes like working programs or so, it's an amazing feeling, even though you haven't accomplished that much, or you've just been following along a tutorial. But even small things you understand for yourself. For example, I've been watching the tutorial. It's like 2 months old, and the case is things in Flutterflow and in BuildShip have been patched already again and changed, and therefore not everything's at the same place and not getting displayed same as this tutorial was like about building a small app with the ChatGPT OpenAI. Yeah, OpenAI. You see, like, things been running around in my head. I want to say API for sure. So, but yeah, after understanding some things, I even found the solution for the problem. So, now it's the moment where I want to show you what I've built. But unfortunately, it's not wanting to show me. And it's also not focusing. Okay. Yeah. All right. Then we gotta find a solution. See ya. So there we are. That's what I've built. Built my own API using BuildShip. I've been setting up, understanding what REST API call means now. Not fully, but I'm getting it. What the post method is, and have been setting up my my API here and the input, and yeah, basically what came out of this, it's the simplest form you could imagine, but I've made up some some topics for app ideas, and now it's retrieving the output from OpenAI, and when I'm like clicking on conscious living, magic is happening for someone like me. I haven't seen something ever before. Working out. This is truly working out, you know? I can see what idea this gives me in an alert. So yeah, it's not, it isn't even the thing I want to build, but it's a first step, you know? And all these first steps are great. Just take them. And now I'm going to learn further ahead to make this truly get into my head, not getting out of there ever again. So I can build all these apps using no code. What a time to be alive. Wow. Years of dreaming about doing something in tech, never actually moving a step towards getting into a deeper technical level, because it was so hard getting into code. Oh my fucking god, it was so hard. Yeah, it's not like I'm lazy, not in any way. When I got something I want to do, I'm sticking to it, but there was just like so many things in life, and I had to make some creative output in my life as well, and do some other stuff. So yeah, now I see what this made with me, knowing too little about stuff that's actually necessary for my goals. So that's it for today. My head is kind of heavy already after all this big work, and I'll see you very soon with updates. Not tomorrow, but the day after. See you.